ang atong buhaton karon, atong limpihan tong ato ang plenary garden para nga pagdaghan na sa ato ang mga bisita. So ang ato ang fern daghan siya. Budugang putag tanom sa other area pa nga ato ang katamnan. So na-form ang Balinsa Saya Twin Lakes Farmers Association. Pinagi sa ato ang Office of the Provincial Government, former George Arnaiz. So karon nga ginahinay na og kuan nga nanang ato ang mga ecotourism activity, ato ang guiding, ato ang mga boating activity. So nakalikom na, naka-earn nagpundo ang ato ang Balinsa Twin Lakes Farmers Association nga makapadalagan nga kanang kami ragyod sa pinagi sa amuang mga opisyalis ug mga membro.
Nakasugod kog trabaho dire 2009. Sa pagsugod nako og trabaho daghan ming bisita itong mga panahon na pagkakaron nga naatay COVID, mingaw na tagbisita dire. Kumparar sa una, lahi na gud kaayo.
Kami dire sir pag wala nang turista marag wan mi kadumi sa COVID minus mig pring hambuyan pagkakaron. Wala income kayo. Tapos di po may kita og lain trabaho. Napigtahan ko tanan. Sa una nga daghang bisita, medyo okay kayo ang nga buhi. Karon nga wala na. Luga-luga ko tayo ni. Ang gibuhat ko sa nga pagka naroon nga COVID pa ta. Nagas og lubi. Ug kabaligya-baligya ron inagmay nga manok kumuhaan sa pingabuyan tapos na aramay mga tanong dito sa akong pares kamote, langhoy, saging kabag-abag rin gusto ang pinangabuyan ay isip mo kayo matay kapuntahan.
Before na COVID, sir, kuan kanang amuang maluto dire nami makahurot og mga pulo ka kilong manok. Sa una mo ni among katong before COVID mo ni amo ang mabutangan og mga order pasunod number 1 hantod unsa nga kuan lugos na mong gani na mo masunod og kuan sir luto kay tungod sa kadaghan. Pagkakaron sir kuan mingaw na kaayo. Nagani sa iska adlaw walay magpaluto na mo dire.
Alahara ko kayo sa una kay karon sa una magsinubra man ang pinangabuhi. Daghan namang mga turis taga laing lugar. Kumpara pagkakaron, ultimo taga atuan din ni. Wala na gani. Ga duty with dire. Anay panahon nga wagoy bisita. Wagi mi income madlag pulis amuha. Sa wala purong sakita, ako motor dire ra gud impas. Siyempre kabulan ako motor, ikas pagkuha na impas dire. Ani rang among bangka-bangka. Kay dagko man tog income. Karon, dugos sa kita kapalit sa kilong bugas. Ay wa na gima, income na to ini.
Before COVID, maka-income na ay 20,000 sa iska adlaw ra na siya. Dayon karon gikan atong July 18 nag-open mi dire. Gamay gud may kayog income matag adlaw na ragoy kuan na itag 200 kapin sa matag adlaw.
Karong nga panahon na layo og sa una. Sa una medyo kita sa adlaw inam hurot ka ano sa semana. Kumpara karon. Daghan po kayo ngubulahan mga kauban na.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Kayang makinig
Let us put ourselves in the presence of the Lord. Almighty and loving Father, thank you for enabling us to gather here for this webinar. May we have meaningful discussions that will help us to build each other up and glorify your name. Help us to share things that will benefit all of us and draw people to the kingdom. Help us to deal with different challenges that we are facing as a team. May we approach each other with respect and kindness. Lord, create an environment of cooperation in this place. Help us to be one in the Spirit. In Jesus' name, we believe and pray. Amen.
Whether it's a location, food, an item, or an experience. All of these can reach an infinite number of people when shared in the digital space. Come, let's learn digital marketing.
Hello, Philippines. Good afternoon. You're tuning in to the Department of Trade and Industry Region 7's webinar series, Digital Marketing Strategies for MSMEs. I am Judge Villamor, your host and moderator for this afternoon. Welcome to our fourth session of an online course on digital marketing strategies for MSMEs. Today's topic is content marketing, using content to promote your brand. This webinar is organized by the DTI Region 7 to help MSMEs identify the different content marketing types and platforms, and also to help them understand better how content plays a vital role in promoting their business and in reaching out to their customers online. Before we proceed with today's discussion, let's refresh our minds with a quick recap of the lessons learned in the last session. May I call on one of our participants, the gorgeous Miss Eliza Biazon, to give us a synthesis of the third session. Light, take it away.
Thank you, Miss Joji. A pleasant afternoon to all the participating due to the fact that it can save time and save transportation. You can shop anytime you want. Products are cheaper and you have a wide variety of choices. It has made things easier and you can check reviews from the customers on the products you want to purchase. Some of the benefits of an online store is that it increases your target market and virtual offers of an unlimited access to products and services 24/7. Your presence allows for a wider reach of your business. Examples of online known platforms are Lazada, Shopee, Grab, Foodpanda, and Facebook Marketplace. These e-commerce platforms are very common to us and is being widely visited by buyers. In every product that you sell, you must make a deep research to know your target market and on how you can reach them through e-commerce. Take note that there are also e-commerce fulfillment methods, the drop shipping, POD, or print on demand, and the local e-commerce. Drop shipping is taking customers' order and send customer information to your supplier, and the supplier will deliver the items to the customer's POD. On the other hand, it is the same as drop shipping, but products can customize and personalize. Another technique to increase your product's perceived value to get more sales is to use beautiful graphics. Increase your social proof, which is very important to gain the trust of your customers. Advertising will also play a predominant role in selling your products for you to win your customers' heart, and it will intensify the willingness of the customers to patronize your product. And with that, I leave you with a quote. Customers pakiligin para baligya bahalin. Thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you, Lai, for filling us on what we have taken up in our previous session. I hope everyone is settled in and ready for our e-learning session today. I'd like to remind everyone that if you have questions or need clarifications regarding what we have discussed here, please type it on the chat box. Our speaker will answer you during the Q&A portion. So let's dive into our topic for today. Please help me welcome the region's digital marketing expert and consultant, founder and CEO of Bisaya Digital, Rome Nicolas Bonsocan. Take it away, Rome.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another session of our webinar series, Digital Marketing Strategies for Local MSMEs. And today, we'll be talking about content marketing and how to use your content to promote your brand. This is already our fourth session. So, upat na ta ka weeks dire. And so far, we've learned already a number of things about digital marketing. And today, we're focusing our lenses on this topic that is content. So we understand already that we've heard this phrase, content is king, quite a lot of times already. But why is it king? What kind of content do we need to create? And how can we make content achievable to our goals, to reach our goals, to to tap to our customers? And that these topics are our main goal for today. And before that, let's take a recap since we mentioned earlier that this is already our fourth session. So we had three topics down. The first session is our introduction to digital marketing. The second one is knowing and reaching out to your customers online. So, and also in the third session last Thursday, we also discussed about e-commerce and how to sell your products online. And today, since this is already our fourth session, we'll talk about new topic, and these are the and if you missed some of the lessons that we had, there is an online course available and you can enroll for free. If you missed any of the topics that I discussed earlier, you can access all these webinar videos, including handouts and additional resources like links to additional articles or videos that you want to know more about the certain topics. Then you can definitely check this out. That's bit.ly/DTI7 digital marketing course. And yeah, so it's all there, and all our future episodes will also be there, and including this webinar happening today. So don't, if you missed out any of our lessons, you can definitely check this out. Or if you know someone or anyone who would benefit from our lessons, you can definitely tell them to check this out. And today, these are the topics that we're going to learn. And these objectives, we have two objectives for this week. The first is to understand how content can help promote businesses in reaching out to their customers online. And the second one is to identify the different content marketing types and platforms that brands can explore. So these are the two topics, the two main agenda for this lesson. So at the end of this lesson, you'll be able to know the what kinds of content you create and why content is important. And for today, so we're going back to these topics that I mentioned in the second session. Lechon, like I'm from Karkar, and out of the many food that our town, our city is famous of, I choose this product. It's lechon. If you're not familiar with it, I don't think you are a Filipino, because I guess a lot of Filipinos love lechon and they already know the product. And our goal for this session is, as we discuss the topics, we'll discuss about certain examples of how we can possibly add the lechon into the discussion. And this is also the same exercise that you'll be doing with your own MSME or product that you are selling. You try to check out if the content that we will be discussing can apply to your specific product, or if there's anything that can help us as we move along. So content marketing is the soul of marketing itself. Without content, there is no marketing. So is that clear? Any campaign without content is not cannot be a campaign in general. What we are saying, like the next lessons that we'll be talking about, especially social media, um, revolves around campaigns, and each campaign has a content in mind. You cannot sell some. You cannot sell anything without having that content of how you will be selling your products, of how you will be promoting your products or service to your customer. You need content for that. No matter the platform or the medium of your marketing campaign, it is important to provide content to your target market and make sure that these content that we will be creating provides value. So the key here is we're not just creating any content, but we're creating content that provides value to your customers. So let's move on to what is content marketing. Content marketing, according to Content Marketing Institute, it's an online resource of information of all things content marketing related, defines content marketing as a marketing technique of creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and acquire a clearly defined audience with the objective of driving profitable customer action. So that's a lot. I know. And that's okay. So let's discuss it slowly. So content marketing is a marketing technique of creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content. So dila lang sa koto. First is it is creating and distributing. So first is we need to create the content, and yeah, so that is content marketing. It's not just about creating, but it's also distributing. We have to find what channel or what type of content we are going to use, and we make sure that our content that we're creating provides value, is relevant, and consistent. For relevant, we have to make sure that our content is at well with the season, at well with the people who we are talking to. It's relevant to our specific customers. So it does not just provide value, but at the same time, it's relevant. And also consistent is, that's why there's a thing called content calendar. So in a content calendar, we'll be talking about more of this, especially for next week. Our topic for next week is social media marketing, and there's a thing called social media content calendar. It's a 1 month or more, depending on your business goals and how you do processes in your business. But a content calendar gives you already an idea what to post for the succeeding days or weeks. So you're not just basically thinking now, posting it now, but you are planning. And the key here is you have to plan ahead. And as you plan, you have to keep in mind your audience, your target customers. So as we've discussed in our second lesson, target market. So you already have the customer avatar, and this is where it plays around. So in creating all these content, we have to think of the customer avatar that we created in lesson 2. So if you forgot about that, please check that out. And in creating this content, the goal here is to attract and acquire a clearly defined audience. So the goal here is to attract our customers. So we're creating a valuable content to our customers. So most likely, if this is valuable enough, then it will attract them. And what's the goal of attracting them? We're acquiring them to become our customers, meaning we have to convince them to buy a product or service that we're offering. And the objective is, of course, driving profitable customer action, increasing our revenues, our sales. So basically customer retention. These are the objectives of content marketing. And I hope I explained that well. So that is the idea of content marketing. So it is the entire process. So it's not just about creating or distributing. It's from creating to distributing and improving along the way. But let me just be clear with this particular topic that may confuse you about content marketing. So, what is content writing and what is copywriting? How are they similar or how are they different? So, we have here the content marketing is creating and sharing valuable free content to attract and convert prospects into customers and customers into repeat buyers. On the other hand, copywriting gets the reader to take a specific action. Sometimes it's making a purchase, but it can also be subscribing to your email list, signing up to your content library, or calling you for more information. So it is now clear that content writing is mainly about involving our customer into the journey, providing them with value. On the other hand, copywriting is encouraging that customer to take an action. It can, as we've discussed, it can be buying your product, but it's not just that. There's a lot. There's also email list. We're not discussing much about email list, but what I can say is that as you grow your business, knowing their emails, creating an email marketing campaign that could sustain your business can definitely help you, especially when scaling. So it's something that you can definitely invest in, especially if you have a business that relies on digital assets. Because unlike traditional marketing, wherein you're limited to basically one to many, wherein it's like TV, radio, um, newspapers, you're basically having one content and you're talking to everyone. Here you can talk to a specific target market. And in Facebook ads, you can have talking to directly to them in different instances depending on who you're talking to. But getting their email definitely can help you become more successful in converting them into your customers and promoting for repeat sales. And also another goal here is to sign up for content library. So that's basically if you have an online course or something like that, it can definitely help you. But here, the third goal is to call you for more information. So copywriting, for example, if we're selling for your own business, like for the business that I chose, like Lechon, here one of the goals here is maybe some people don't like to order directly online or on the shop. They want to send a message, but sometimes they want to talk to a human, to talk to someone, especially if they have very customized orders or they have a lot of questions, especially in Philippine context. Having that ability to call someone is very helpful. So that could be the goal of copywriting. But why are we doing content marketing? So our next topic is why content marketing. So the reason why we're doing content marketing because it can help your business achieve the following things. First, it educates your leads and prospects about the products and services you're offering. So education is very important, especially if these um, audience, your target customers, do not know about your product yet. So you have to educate them about your brand, about your product, about why your product is the best, why it is quality product. So education. This is where any marketing starts. It's educating your customers, and content here is very important, especially as a driver for this conversation. And next is we boost conversion. So if you already have the clients, your customers, and maybe some of them added to your cart, especially if you're an e-commerce shop, but they're not checking out. So content marketing here can play around on how to actually get into conversions. So one way to do that is to possibly create some social media posts or email, whatever the form is, to encourage them that to check out. So one way is to give them discounts, to give them offers that they can't refuse. So these are ways to actually also build relationships between your customers and businesses that result in increased loyalty. So increased loyalty here is an important aspect, especially in business, because we don't want our customers to buy from us only once and never again. Our goal is for them to continuously purchase items from us and help them become loyal customers. So that's our goal here. Then thing, the fourth objective is to show our audience how our products and services solve their challenges. So, remember customer avatar sheet that we created wherein we discuss about the problems that these customers are having. This is where content marketing comes in. So here we provide the solutions. Like in my case, lechon. So hungry customers or customers longing to be in a nice celebration with their family. So here, what we can do is we focus on their problems and how the product, lechon in my case, solve that problem. Like usually it's about celebration, reunion, families, getting together. So this is definitely the messaging that I want to impose, especially that holidays is already coming. So if that's already product, so definitely consider that. So gatherings. Another thing is we create a sense of community around the brand. So content marketing helps your loyal customers um, know about your product, but at the same time, you're building a community. Like one of the clients that I handle now has a very loyal following. What they're selling is they're selling basically book containers, like their padded sleeves that contains the books. What they have is a very loyal following, like people who'd love to collect different designs of all these book items that they're selling. And actually the business has grown so cool and so big, and they were able to do this with awesome content and building a very loyal customers. So they already built that community around it. And that is also what you should be doing with your own business. So with your own product. So we wanted to have that community. Then next is we know that it is important that understanding on what content marketing is. We know that understanding content marketing is important for our own business, but we also need to understand the 4 steps of the buying cycle. So this is a cycle. This is the 4-step buying cycle. The first one is awareness. Prior to awareness, a customer may be in need, is understand, but they are not aware that that there is a solution. In this step, customers know that there is a problem, but they don't know what kind of solution that they want. So in my case, for lechon, probably that they know that there is an upcoming celebration, but they don't know what to buy yet. So in that case, lechon could definitely be an option for them. Research. This, as we've discussed, this is a very important aspect in any part of digital marketing, and including content marketing. So once a customer is aware that there is a solution, they will perform research to educate themselves. For example, another example here is, for example, there's a car buyer who find out that different types of car exist, but which one will fit his needs? In this case, in my case, the lechon, which is a more familiar story for you guys, is that we already know that a lechon could definitely be an item for the celebration, but which brand, what kind of lechon do they want? Do they need per kilo lechon? Do they need to buy the entire whole lechon, or should they cook their own lechon? So these are research that includes in the customer journey. And the next step, which is not very far from research, is already consideration. At this point, a customer starts comparing different products from different vendors to make sure they're getting the high quality product at a fair price. So, keywords, quality and fair price. So, price and quality goes hand in hand. It's not just about always about quality, but in a very competitive world of digital marketing, price can play a part, but it's not always the case that if you're the cheapest, you tend to be the most successful. Or if you're the most expensive, you're the most successful brand. You're getting the most sales. In most cases, you should be in the middle. With all these things, it depends also with your customers. That's why it's important to know who you're selling to. Sometimes, especially this part, it plays a part, like a huge part of who your competitors are. Are you just selling this? Are you the only brand in space, or are there many other lechon sellers? For this example, that are competing for the customer's attention? Because if yes, then is there anything in your product that you can offer that will definitely make your customers like, this is the one, this is the best? So are you offering them like free delivery, for example? Or that's very little actually for a very pricey product. So are you giving them extra bonuses, like getting them free dugo, dinuguan, or free what else can you free with lechon? So other sudan nga you can offer to them. So these are things that you can also consider. And lastly, the last step in the buying journey is the buying. So finally, the customer makes the decision to move forward with the transaction. So in e-commerce, usually it's about clicking that purchase button. But sometimes it's not always the case. In Facebook, it could be about sending the message, telling the customer that I already want you to buy, and they're willing to pay. So they can pay either online or on COD. So you've already discussed all of this, and the customers agreed, and that is already the success number one. So there should be many successes in each customer, not just one. So there are many purchases that you want each customers to have. So those are the 4 steps in the buying cycle. But what are the types of content marketing strategies that you can apply for your businesses? So in this topic, we will be talking about the different content marketing strategies that you can incorporate in your plan, in your action. So the first one is, you guessed it, social media. So this will be our lesson for next week. So we'll be talking about this, more about social media marketing and social media content marketing. So that's the first one, social media content marketing. What is it? Why is social media important? Well, this is already a no-brainer at this point, most likely. We all know that, especially in Philippine context, a lot of businesses have already started their own Facebook pages, their own Facebook presence. Most likely, if you're attending this webinar, I am almost guaranteed that a lot of you, if not everyone, have already their own Facebook page. And to take up a little bit higher level, probably if you're a product with a lot of good photos and videos that we can take, you probably also have an Instagram account. So if you're not, definitely something to consider. So aside from Facebook and Instagram, there are other social media marketing platforms. We'll discuss more about this next week, but something to also consider, like, why are we doing this specific platform and not the others. So it depends on what's your goal and how much capability you can invest in your business. And here we create and share content on each platform. So there are different kinds of content that we can create for social media. And in fact, the other types of content that we'll be discussing after this first type of content is can be also shared in social media, like photos, live videos, pre-recorded videos, stories, blogs, infographics. All of these can be shared in social media and be part of your social media content marketing plan. So that's the first, social media. The second is infographics. Have you heard about infographic? So if you're not familiar with it, an infographic displays content, information, and data in an easy to understand graphic format. With a mix of a simple wording, short statement, and clear images, infographics are a great way to effectively communicate your content. They work well if you're trying to distill an educational and or complex topic down to all audience members so they can easily understand it. So the goal of infographic is to send a message, make it very simple that it is easily understandable for the audience. So that's the goal of the infographic. And if you have a very complicated product with very complicated topics, try to simplify it and check it out. Especially the um, a successful infographic is easily shareable with your customers. Like in my case, like for example, that's Sean. So what I can do for an infographic idea is creating a content about celebrations, like what are the things that you can prepare for upcoming Christmas season here in the Philippines. So what are the things that you should not forget? So aside from lechon, you should about gifts, about um, simbang gabi, about there's a lot of things about Christmas parol, and then definitely one of the highlights is having a lechon. So you can definitely include that in your infographic. And if you can create a content that is easily shareable and pinpoints to the pain and what your customers are having a problem about, then most likely that infographic has a huge chance to become successful. And aside from infographic, you can definitely share this in social media. As I mentioned, another type of content is blog. So blogs are a powerful type of inbound content and allow you to create a lot of creativity in terms of their purpose and topic. With a blog, you can do things like promote other internal and external content and blog articles via links, via social media share buttons, and incorporate product information. So this third type of content that we're discussing, which is blog, may you may be thinking that it's already obsolete. Not many people read blogs. I can say that low quality blogs that have no sense of purpose are not going to work, are likely to be successful in 2020 and beyond. However, there is still a room for blogging. People still search for information online. So if you can create content, you can solve problems that your customers are facing by giving them ideas and then selling your product in the end, then you can definitely utilize blog content. But it's not as easy as it was that you can just create a blog and then it will rank. But right now, you have to definitely consider what type of content you're creating and how you're affecting the lives of your customers. So what are their problems? So how are you giving them solutions? So this is now important for you. So the fourth type of content is podcast. What is a podcast? Have you heard the word podcast? If you're not, you should think that podcast that it is radio. Think of it as a radio, but instead of having that only one channel, then they'll advertise everything. You can choose what you want to listen to. So it's a radio on the go. So if Spotify or any other platforms, music platforms allows you to listen to any music you'd like, a playlist of any music you'd like, and Netflix allows you to watch videos as you want, what types of movie series that you'd watch on the go. And podcast is also that, but instead it's not music, it's about information. So it's like blogging but audio. So think of it that way. So if, for example, this talk is created into a podcast, that is also possible. So I'll just create an audio version of this. But although we have to consider that podcast has become very popular in the Western world, the US, the Europe, and it's getting attraction here in the Philippines, but maybe to a very niche audience. And personally, I'm not included in the type of audience because I'm not very auditory as a learner, but I'm more a visual and yeah, a reader. So it depends on what type of learner you are. But they say that it's getting popular, and some of my clients have already started experimenting on their podcasts, but local clients not so much. So if there's anything that you can consider for your topics and that can be converted into podcast, then that's something that you can experiment on. So it can last from 30 minutes to 15 minutes or an hour or two, depending on you. So depending on your goal. So the next content here is video. So here. So what is video content marketing? So people like us, like consumers, instead of just reading and listening, would like to watch videos. And a lot of our customers are already interacting with brands in videos. Additionally, video marketing can boost conversions, improve the ROI, and help you build relationships with audience members. You can choose to share your video content on social media platforms, landing pages, and in a co-marketer's website. So video, you just upload it on YouTube and Facebook. And in fact, this type of content that you're watching is a video. So this can be uploaded on Facebook or YouTube or wherever. And then that can also be embedded on a course platform, like what we're doing with our course platform with the digital marketing strategies for local MSMEs that you can enroll for free. And so that is why it's important to have video, because you have recorded the specific moment and then you can just repeat that and review that anytime you need and anytime you want. So that's video. Next is another type of content that we can create is an ad, a paid ad specifically. It can be a Facebook ad, a YouTube ad, a Google ad. But the thing here is we're not doing anything organic. So we're paying platforms to get a broader reach, and it allows us to position ourselves in places we want to be seen. So as I've discussed many times in this course already, uh, there are many places that you can have paid ads, including in social media, landing pages, banners, sponsored content. Yeah. So I'll focus on two topics here, social media and sponsored content. The first is social media. So doing Facebook ads for one, especially Facebook ads is not just limited on Facebook. It covers Facebook, Messenger, Instagram. So yeah. So basically those three platforms, you can create all of those ads in Facebook ads. So because all of these platforms are owned by Facebook. So as a company, if you're not familiar with that, now you know. The second is sponsored content. So sponsored content can be posted in blogs or in other social media profiles. Like in Instagram, there is a called influencer marketing. What influencer marketing does is you can pay people or you can promote your brand with people and let them post about it. Let them share their insights about it, that they like your product, what they love about your product, and in that way, you're getting your um, product to more people, to their customers, to their followers. So that's another way of doing content marketing. So we have already discussed 6 types of um, content types. So out of these 6, we have a specific topic for social media, which will be next week. And then after that is we have Facebook and Instagram tips, and we have a Facebook ads session. So that's a short session with Facebook ads, how to get started on Facebook ads and what you need to know when doing all these Facebook advertisements. So face ad involves money. So you have to pay people, you have to pay the platforms to get your information, and we'll discuss more about that in that specific topic. So we already discussed about 6 types of content marketing strategies that you can implement: social media, infographics, blog, podcast, video, and paid ad. And yep. And next is creating a content marketing strategy. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky. So we'll be spending the rest of the session talking about this content marketing strategy, what it is, why it is important, and what can we do about it. So we have also to take account here the example that I shared with you about lechon, and if there's anything we can do with a content marketing strategy using the 7 steps that I'm sharing with you. The first one is you have to set your SMART goals. SMART is an acronym: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time-bounded, timely, no, those things. The first part of a content marketing strategy is to set these SMART goals. These should be specific to your business, like more likely complementing your broader marketing and company goals. For our example of a lechon, like for that specific product, our example should be, our SMART goals should be like, I want to sell, let's say, 100 of lechon within the Christmas season. So that's the goal. The goal here is for the next month, for the entire month of December, I'll be checking on people to buy that, to order ahead for their Christmas celebrations, Noche Buena, and to consider that. So that's the goal. Second is determine your KPI. So what are your key performance indicators for your SMART goals? Like, these are quantifiable data points that you can use to measure your actual performance against your goal. Like in my case, I want sales. Like, aside from sales in itself, what other performance indicators that I can check are those people asking? Like, and also how many people are commenting on the post, are liking it, how many, we start with basically how many people we've reached. So Facebook and other platforms has this total reach. So we have to, that's the first KPI. The second is how many people out of these we reached have commented on that specific post that we created. The next one is, out of these people, how many inquired about our product. And lastly, out of these inquiries that we got, how many people bought the product. So that's that. These are several KPIs, and in fact, we also have to consider another KPI that is important to this particular business: refunds. Like, how many people asked for refund, canceled their order. So that's another KPI for this. Next is we choose the content channels. We choose what type of content. So what type of content we create, and next is where we asa man ta mag-post ani, where are we going to post these contents? So we start thinking about our target audience, our buyer personas, customer avatars that we created. So where are they hanging out? So we'll answer the following questions about our target audience that will help us narrow down the right types of form of content that we have for them. The first is, what do they need from you? So what do they need from you? So lechon, celebration, and that. Second is, what challenges are they looking to overcome? Having a sad Christmas, having a celebration with no food, no star of the show. So these are the things that we can consider. Why? Third is, why do you need your product or service to be full, to have a you can insert here some values, Pinoy related values, to sell your products. And this is where it gets your uniqueness as a brand to comes to play. Next is, how can you help them succeed? So how can you help your customers with your product succeed with their goals? And lastly, where do they spend their time? And in our cases, most of the time it's social media. So people like the things in social media, especially it's already understandable that especially in a country like the Philippines, social media is playing a bigger role because it's free and people like free stuff. Although another discussion for that is, if a thing is free, there's more likely another area that we can discuss. It's because we're seeing all these ads, and these ads we like about these ads are targeted to our behavior, and as marketers, this is valuable to our business, and this can help us scale and sell our products because we can target those people who basically needs us. So that's an interesting case with social media and how we can help it to get to our business objectives. And then the fourth one is, we decide on what type of content. So now we've decided where we want to post. Next is what type of content we want to post. So once we've decided on the type of content we'll market with, it's time to choose the specific content channels. So where are we going to share this content? Where will it be live? And uh, who are we sharing it with? So these are the types of content that we need to discuss. So we decide on that. And for some of the content types, the channel you need to work with will be obvious. For example, if you're creating Facebook content, the channel is a social media platform. And if you're in most cases, we can start with a social media. So since this is a digital marketing strategy course that will help you create a content digital marketing strategy in the end, it's a little bit biased towards social media because that's ideally one of the where we can get a lot of people, and it's a challenge to take that people out of the social media into the emails, into the other into getting them into calls. But we definitely start with the most obvious, which is social media, Facebook, Instagram. So that's it. The fifth part of creating a strategy is setting a budget. How much are we willing to spend for this? So think about the type of content you're creating and what channels and marketing are we posting it. So then ask yourselves these questions to determine your budget. Do you need to purchase any software technology to create the content like Adobe or subscription to Canva or anything? But let me tell you this, you don't need much. In Canva, there's free Canva that definitely you can use, and it's able to create designs. And these platforms, aside from Canva, can actually get us into easier content marketing strategy and content types. And in fact, Facebook itself, like they already have a tool that you can just upload photos and Facebook will create a video out of the photos that you've submitted. And that's something that we can definitely consider. And number two question, do we need to hire any content marketers or designers for this? Third is, do we need to pay for ad space? Like, for example, are we going to use Facebook ads? How much are we spending for this? But the good thing is, you only need at least 50 pesos per day to run your own Facebook ads campaign. So that's it. It's 50 pesos. And we'll have a topic for that, and we'll discuss about the strategies about having and creating your own Facebook ads in that lesson. So watch out for that. Fourth question is, do you need access to the specific tools or resources to enhance or specific to measure your specific type of content? So are you getting tools to measure your KPIs, or are these tools already available online? Then you can just have a Google Sheet or a Microsoft Excel with all of these. So if you're a brand who just started out, then it's much easier to do these manually. But as you scale, as you grow your brand, then it is much better to get things automated. And automation sometimes has costs involved. And although there are strategies that can help us avoid these costs, and especially like sales, upcoming sales that we can consider. So we'll have to look out for that. These factors can affect how much budget we need, whether also we need to increase or decrease our budgets month after month. So that's fifth. Uh, the sixth step is to create and distribute the content. In creating and distributing your content to your audience members who can consume it and then possibly convert, we ensure that you're not just only creating consistently content and sharing it with your prospects and customers, but also using social media calendar or an editorial content calendar. So a social media calendar is something you'll learn about next week. We'll talk about that. But basically here in a social media calendar is we're planning all the contents ahead and what types of content are we posting on specific days. And these are the things that we will be discussing. So this will help us stay on top with the content that we're creating, and we're allowing our schedule. We schedule it on time. So we don't just post anything as we think about it, but we're planning it. And lastly, the seventh step is to analyze and measure your the seventh step is to analyze and measure your results. In this case, we want to improve our product, right? We want to improve our marketing strategy. And how do we improve? We know our numbers. The good thing about digital marketing, as I've already discussed it over and over again, is it's data centric. We know how many people watched, how many people commented, how many people ordered, how many people bought. Like all these informations are not available before digital marketing. They have to manually, is not as accurate as it is now. And we can use this data to our advantage. So we look at the SMART goals and the KPIs that we have, and we determine the success of the content marketing strategy that we are creating. Did we achieve our goal? Did we achieve our KPI at the end of the day? If not, then there must be something wrong. There must be improvements we have to make. So in our case of the lechon, like we create content for that, like a video, for example, or let's say creating an ads photo showing how a complete family or infographic. And then after that, we have to measure, like checking all these different content ideas and content activities that we did and efforts. Then we have to check which one of these helped our campaign as we move forward. And this will definitely help us generate better campaign strategies for the succeeding month. And it's a good idea to actually do this on a monthly basis. getting all these information and improving it after a month. So, so these are the 7 steps of creating your content marketing strategy. The first one is you set smart goals. Then you determine your KPIs. Then you choose your content channels. 4 is you decide on what type of content you want to have, and then set a budget. And in this case, it should not be too much. So usually we're spending here for ads, or if we're doing organic posts, then probably we can very have minimal budget. But the thing here is, if we're having minimal budget, then most likely we shouldn't expect drastic results. So that's something that we need to consider. Sixth is, we create and distribute this content. And lastly, we improve by analyzing and measuring these results. So uh, that is how you create a content marketing strategy. And I hope this lesson has enabled you to already have an idea of what types of content you want to create. And the next few minutes, I'll be opening the floor for questions. So if you have questions on specific content that you want to create, or what's stopping you from creating these contents, then ask me. Then we'll discuss about that. And I hope also to provide more information about these content strategies, these content channels that we discussed. Just let me know if there's anything that you need from me. Then I'm open for any questions. And to have a recap of what we discussed today. So we discussed about how content can help us promote the businesses in reaching out to their customers online. And second is, we identify the different content marketing types and platforms that brands can explore. So I hope we were able to do these two objectives in our today's lessons. But if you'd like to learn more, we have additional resources available, and you can also have a recap of this webinar in case you missed or you're having an internet problem there. So you want to recap this video or just check out the previous videos and the future videos. We have an online course. It's free. You can get access to all the handouts, to all any resources. So I'll be linking down several articles that I used in creating this presentation that you can read, and videos that I recommend you to watch, especially if you wanted to know more, to learn more about content marketing. So that's, and just basically digital marketing in general. So that's bit.ly/digital DTI7 digital marketing course. So I hope to see you there. It's enrollment is free. Just click that button, which is enroll for free. Then you get access to all these handouts. So I hope you use these handouts well, especially in applying to your own businesses. And I hope you learned something from today. And now we're opening the floor to your questions, and see you in a bit.
Thank you so much, Rome, for that very informative discussion on content marketing. Once again, if you have any questions or need clarifications, please type on the chat box. For those of you who have not attended the first 3 sessions of this online course, you can rewatch it on DTI7's Facebook page and search for the videos with their titles: Introduction to Digital Marketing, Knowing and Reaching Out to Your Customers Online, and E-commerce, How to Sell Your Products Online. So let's get on to the Q&A. Okay,
Hi.
Rome, are you ready for the first question? That
Yes,
will
let's
be
do it.
mine, of course. That will be mine, of course. The first question is, how does content marketing, without talking about or promoting our products or service, help
Mhm.
us create leads and sales?
Okay. So content marketing is generally the brain of any marketing campaign. Content is the heart of everything we do online or in digital generally. So for most businesses, it is already part of their system to actually sell. But compared to directing, to make it less boring, especially we want to make a community on our Facebook pages, on our social media channels, on our blogs. We wanted to provide value to our customers. So the keyword here is providing value. And we don't we cannot provide them value if we're just selling all the time. So that's why it is important to go back to our first and second lesson, like knowing about your customers and knowing their problems, because our content should be focused on providing solutions to these problems that our customers face. And if we create content that are targeted to our customers, then they're more likely to engage, to participate, because we know what they want, we know what their problems are, and our content should drive about focusing on the solution. And these engaging contents will likely to become more effective. And at the heart of everything we do in digital, we're building a community. And as soon as we create more and more people engage in the brand, then we can convert them slowly into the funnel, making them into our customers.
Okay. So here's a specific question from one of the participants. What's the best marketing strategy for a delicacy product that has short shelf life, like calamay?
Oh, okay. Basically, from what I see here, Kalama is a very um, photo-friendly, even video-friendly product, and we can take a lot of lifestyle photos and lifestyle. I think one of the strategies that we can experiment on with any photo-friendly products is to take photos. Creating into a lifestyle content, and actually it shorter lifespan. We can definitely, I think the product in itself already knows, like nanata describe na nato sa product how long ay ang shelf life, and we can actually integrate it into our campaign, like in we're educating our customers more about our products, like what are its benefits, what are the features that we expect from the product, from what we sell. And we can definitely include that in how we create our campaign. But I don't necessarily think that we should focus on a small thing nga, let's say shelf life, nga we will create an entire campaign focusing on that shelf life, but rather we create an angle into content, focusing on what are the benefits we get from a calamay. When can we use it? When do we eat this delicacy? So, ana siguro ang focus nato.
Okay. Nice. Another question from one of the participants. Since you are a digital marketer,
Yes.
nangutana siya if digital marketing is subject to business registration taxes and licenses now.
Yes. The short answer is yes. But
Yes.
basically, any business that you do, as long as you're earning income and you're gearing towards profit, then it is already part of the process to pay our taxes, to do all the licenses, to go legal. So it's our responsibility as business owners and digital marketers.
Okay. Here's another question. How do we measure content marketing's influence on sales and revenue?
Okay. I in the talk I mentioned about KPIs, like key performance indicators, and for most businesses, they wanted to increase sales, and that's already the last step in our funnel. And we're talking about a funnel, like in the funnel generally we can go with 3 stages, or sometimes 4 or 5, depending on which concept are we talking about. But in I think there is a strategy that is there's in the funnel there are 3 steps, like there's a bottom of the funnel, top of the funnel, then middle, then bottom of the funnel. Bottom of the funnel are those geared towards sales, like already sales, add to carts or inquiries. In the middle, we wanted to educate about the product. And actually, in the top of the funnel, these are people who don't have an idea about the brand, and probably who don't even have an idea about what we're selling to them. So we educate them about what we're offering, and we educate them about our benefits that we can get. And on the
Or
middle
what
of the
product
funnel, yes,
can do for
product,
them.
definitely. And in the middle, we educate them on why we're the best brand compared to the others. So that's basically the three-step funnel.
Okay. Here's another one. Where do we get good inspiration to create content?
Okay. There are different areas to get inspiration of to get content ideas, and I think one of the best ways to get them is to check out what's working out. I can give let's try to give three. One is competitors. You can check with competitors or inspirational other brands that you aspire for, you aspire to become.
But
You can
that's
check
not
out what they're.
necessarily copy.
Yes, not necessarily. Also, not necessarily your competitors, but try to check out some brands that are doing some. Probably at right now, they're probably already doing campaigns geared toward the holiday season. Check out what they're doing and figure out if there's anything that they're doing that you can apply. Second is check out. There are two types of content. There are content that advocate for educational, like evergreen content nga pwede na to siya balik-balikon. And also there are seasonal contents, like for this season Christmas is around the corner, so check out if there are any campaigns, there are any ideas that we can use and utilize in using this for our campaigns. And third is basically research. There are a lot of areas online that you can get some ideas. One of my favorite places to get some ideas is Reddit. It's a social media platform wherein you can follow a lot of topics, and I that has become my source of source from topic ideas, especially with related to news or some depending on what your brand. Also, I forgot to mention that it also depends on what kind of content that you create. Another platform aside from Google, like searching for ideas, there is Pinterest, especially for lifestyle photos, lifestyle concepts. Pinterest has been growing a lot lately. And if you want to check out some ideas on what type of content you can create, what are the contents that are going viral into this specific niche, then you can check out definitely Pinterest. So those are some of the sources of content that you can get.
I'm sure many of our content creators are interested on how to make their content viral,
Yes.
di ba?
Okay. Yes. I think
People would
that.
like to look at it again and again.
Mhm. That's one of the most common questions that we get from anyone in general, whether they're content creators or their brands or uh basically anyone. Like, I want to become famous, I want to go viral. But as a brand, from a brand perspective, when we go into the digital marketing, what are the several aspects we can do to assure that we're generating buzz within the community with our content? Is we go back to customer research, like customer information. Like, um, we need to know what are the problems of our customers. We've been telling this over and over again, because when we try to create some solution with our with the campaigns that we're doing, when we're providing solutions, then we have to know what are the problems that are basically experienced by our customers. But another area when we want to go viral is sometimes it's about timing and seasonality. So there are posts that are probably shared by you, that are shared by just your friends. Then you realize that someone copied that post, posted it at their page, and they have already a wider reach, and their post is reaching more people than you do. And that's normal because Uh, there are a lot of factors to put in how the reach is calculated in social media. So one way to assure that we're getting better reach than we are is to tap on a seasonality of content, and another way is to create a mark lists or create something a content that are emotionally triggered. So one way with our content that we've been talking about, especially in the talk earlier, is we want to hit to the emotions, to the emotional core of our audience. And if we create these kinds of content, then these contents can make people laugh, make people cry, make people happy. So extreme emotions. These content have higher tendencies to go more reach, to have a
Viral.
tendency to be viral. But there is no assurance that it will go viral. So that's the risk there. We cannot assure that one thing can go viral, but what we can do is just increase the likelihood of our content to go viral.
So, with regards to going viral, how can I
Yes.
create something unique that doesn't
Mhm.
look like it's been produced by an
Yes.
advertising agency? Does it
Yes.
have to look like it's raw,
Okay.
something raw and authentic?
Yes. I think one of the problems nga MSMEs are experiencing is they have trouble getting into creating content. Like they don't have the capability to record videos, to shoot production like ads na pila ka millions ang budget. We don't have that capability, but we have the sense of humanness in our product, that we are more personal to our product. So what we can do to become unique is we create own videos, like showcasing them about our product. So our mobile phones, especially smartphones nowadays, can take really good videos. And we can also talk about there are already tools that can help us edit these videos. And I think with a small tinkering of all of these resources that we have, then we can create an ad, no matter like how minimal the budget is, that could actually potentially reach our customers. And we just have to make sure that when we create something, we try to either entertain or educate our audience. Yes, miss.
Yes. Hello, Rome.
Yes, Miss Georgie.
Okay. Is something wrong with this mic or
Medyo okay, miss.
okay, sige. Continue, Rome.
Okay. So what I was saying is what was wait, I missed the and I forgot already the question.
How can I create something unique content that doesn't look like it's been produced by an
Okay.
advertising agency?
So okay, as I was saying earlier, when we
Does it
create.
have to be raw and authentic?
Yeah. Well, that question, sige. Let's focus on getting raw and authentic videos or content that we want to produce. It's okay. It's definitely okay to use our mobile phones when we create content. It doesn't have to be staged. It doesn't have to cost a lot of hundreds of thousands or even millions of pesos to create one piece of content. We can use our smartphones. We can record, and in fact, there are studies that with these videos that are done on a very even mga testimonials that are shot by mobile phones are getting better reach compared to those videos that are well created by several brands. So there's this humanness as a factor of getting better content. But basically, my advice to any business owners or to any entrepreneurs or digital marketers who wanted to take advantage of content and use your smartphones, take a video, edit it. There's several tools to create videos, to edit of your photos online. One of those is Canva, which we'll be discussing in the next session.
Mm.
So these tools can definitely help you create content, whether it's a video, it's a photo, or an infographic. And we try to create post of this. It doesn't necessarily mean nga these low quality videos would not engage, would not hit our audience. But what we can do is we hit our emotional core of our audience, and we solve their problems or entertain them in a way.
So at least kanang duha mo at least dapat i-meet na to in
Yes,
order
miss.
to have a successful content marketing
Yes.
campaign. So what's the best? Here's another question from a participant. What's the best language to use for content marketing to gain more audience? Siguro probably is
Sige.
saying if it's English, Cebuano, or I think that
Yeah.
depends siguro on the audience or the
Yes, miss.
viewers.
You're learning. We're learning here. So I guess sakto siya, miss. Sakto imong answer. It depends on your audience. Like, who are you selling to?
Kung
So,
it's more Cebuanos,
yeah. So if you're
uh,
selling to
Cebuanos,
local audience, then it is okay to mix your to mix with English and Cebuano or Bisaya. So it's okay. But if you're targeting to foreign customers to who cannot understand Bisaya, then it's okay. It's better to actually speak English. Although,
mm-mm,
as I've seen in many posts, especially those geared towards foreigner, basically most of the posts in social media are English, but it doesn't necessarily mean that if magbinisaya ka sa Facebook and then bakya ni mong brander unsa, it's not. It always go
yeah.
back to who your customers are and what language do they want to understand, and would they
Mm.
love to hear from you. Even like national brands, na sila yung mga campaigns nga targeted and local nga magbisaya sila because they know
Mm.
that people like any language that is close to what they're speaking. So if kita diri mga Bisaya ta, then magbisaya ta with our campaigns, then it's definitely okay as long as ang imong target market kay mga Bisaya sad.
Mm-mm. Pero kung kita hay, let's say, lain-laing dialects within the
Mhm.
Philippines, lain-laing dialects ang imong market,
Okay.
uh, would you advise nga to use
You can
English?
use English or Filipino. So it also depends. Like, I bet one of the what national brands like Manginasal or other brands, even like McDo or sama na sila.
Mm-mm.
You notice them nga they're usually English all the time, but when they have specific campaigns, sometimes they go with Filipino language because people like to hear some Filipino also words from our campaigns to like
Mm-mm.
depending on what we're creating. So always go back to why you're doing this and who are you talking to. So mao gyud na siya, miss.
Mm. Uh, Rejoinder ni sa kuan sa katong nangutana regarding sa kalamay.
Okay.
Uh, since calamay has a short shelf life, how do we face the challenge of logistics? I think it's
Delivery. Now, yeah, I understand now the issue with. I think with e-commerce, last week we mentioned about deliveries. Like you can target anyone across the Philippines or say something like that,
mm,
and delivering food might definitely be challenging, especially if they have shorter shelf life. So especially with the kind of delivery system that we have, where sometimes it goes on delay
Mhm.
from time to time. So it could be a challenge,
Mhm.
yun. So what you can do is to probably focus on an audience or a targeted audience near you, wherein you can deliver the goods to them in a much shorter time and would not take that specific delivery time nga mauna imong entire shelf life, kay basin by the time nga maabot na siya kay spoiled na siya. So we don't want to have
Ito.
that experience. So we always go back to our target market within kanang locality lang siguro. So that's my suggestion. I'm not, or if you have depending on your capability, then you can,
Mhm.
I think, with the supermarket route or other route, like what if your product is available in different stores already, so you can just create a campaign to sell that. But if you have your own um um in your own packaging, your own delivery, and you do it by your own good, then it might be challenging for you to deliver to areas very far from your location, and that's understandable. And I'm not
Mhm.
exactly sure on ang best solution for that, aside from focusing on your customers that are near your locality.
Mm. Okay, one more question, Rome. This is regarding a product that has not yet been registered in FDA. Is it okay to use digital marketing? Kay new pa sila sa business.
Oh, okay. So with registration, I'm not very familiar with with the registration
Food and
system. So oh yeah. So you might need to ask someone who's more familiar and adept with this with how they do this. But the limitation of this course is, what I know is, we can use digital marketing to introduce the brand, to educate our customers who we are, and without necessarily selling already. So even though, like, if we're launching a product, like let's say 2 months from now, even though we haven't launched that product yet, then we can already start advertising, start getting orders, then deliver them on a later date. That's the beauty of digital marketing. But with all of these, with whatever we do, we have to be transparent with our customers. Like, for example, we're taking orders now, but we're delivering this on a later date. So that's one way to do that. These are pre-orders. Like, it's very normal, especially with e-commerce. Like, some people are taking pre-orders, and that's okay. Although the challenge there is the delivery might be on a later date, and people don't like to wait too much.
Yes, I agree. Um, Here's a question about going viral.
Mhm.
If content marketing goes viral, but in a controversial way,
Yes.
is that good or bad publicity?
Okay.
A good marketing, um, we're looking for a good marketing strategy since we're a new brand.
Okay, yeah. Going viral using the controversial route is definitely one of the easiest way to go viral, but it's not always ethical. So, if ethics comes into play, it always depends on what brand you are selling, and do you want to be affiliated with controversy in the first place? So, you have to think all of these metrics, all of these effects of going into virality. So if you're okay with it, then go. But if you don't want it and it's too risky for your brand, then I don't advise going to virality, especially if it's too negative, if a controversial. So it always depends on how much controversy you're adding into your campaign. It's okay
Mhm.
to get into trends every now and then, but the topics that you want to be a part of always depends on you. And that's why when we create campaigns, aside from remembering or actually targeting it to our customers, we always have to think about how customers perceive our brand after they see our campaigns. So, kato lang siguro, miss.
Perception. What type
Mm,
of perception do you want your customers to
exactly.
see
Yes. Are
with
you
regards to
okay?
your brand?
So, are you okay with getting the controversial route, or how negative that controversy is? So, if it's too much for you, then probably it's not definitely safe, but it can definitely go
Mm.
viral. But the question is, are you okay with the side effect or the after effects of going that virality route?
Wow. Okay. But is content marketing really focused on creating a change in the perception of people with regards to your brand or your
Mm,
product or a
okay.
situation?
Yes, that's a that I really like that question. Like, with content marketing as the heart of any digital marketing campaign that we do, we're actually controlling the message that we send to our customers. So if we want to rebrand ourselves, we use content marketing to shift our focus into something else. And when we try to change the perception of our audience, so there's also likelihood that our audience will change. So there are those people that who got used to how we're speaking online, and they no longer like our new image. So that's normal. But we're also helping that if there are people who will fall off from the ladder of becoming our fan of our brand, we get more customers in return. Because if not, then our risk of rebranding is a waste of time. Because the goal here is over time we increase our customer base, and if we're losing some of our customers, we should be getting more customers in return.
Yes, yes, yes.
So,
So here's another question from one of our participants. What are the key differences between content marketing and copywriting? Or is copywriting a part of content marketing?
okay. So I discussed this in a slide. I specifically said the difference of content marketing and copywriting. But in summary, copywriting um, encourages your audience to take an action, whether it's buying a product, signing up in a newsletter, sending you a message. That's copywriting. You wanted them to take an action. Content writing is more about persuasion, educating them about our brand. Like basically, content writing is more about the creative side. You wanted them to the emotional core, like um in-
Mm.
including them in our journey, in their customer journey towards becoming our customers. But copywriting, on the other hand, is we already have a specific action and that we wanted them to take, and we use copywriting to do that. So in general, see,
So it's more
um,
like hard sell and
yes, kana.
copywriting.
Exactly. Thank you for the term, miss. So, si content writing kay soft selling, anya then si hard selling,
Yes,
si copywriting.
copywriting. So that's more like a major key difference between the two.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so let me see. Nako'y line questions. Wa po may additional questions ang atong participants. I have another question for you.
Okay. Sige, miss.
Um, is is content marketing better than just delivering straightforward hard sell marketing of your
Okay.
product, or does it depend on what product you're selling?
Regardless of the product that you're selling, all I can say is when you do digital marketing, you do not hard sell 100% of the time. In fact, there's a formula for
Is that a turn
general
off?
for, huh? Yes,
Turn
miss.
off na siya for the buyers? Hard
Um,
sell?
ano na lang, miss, if you see a page that is always like for sale, for sale, for sale, buy now, buy now, buy now, what would you feel about that specific brand?
Ah, they're desperate in selling their
Diba?
products.
Diba? So it's usually it's negative. So you
Yes.
feel that they're desperate in selling their products, and you're more likely to unfollow them after because unsa man ni sila, they've been saying all things same over and over again. And we don't want that. The goal of our
Mm,
content marketing is to engage our customers, become them repeat buyers or our customers. Uh, that's why it's important for content marketing to not just sell all the time, but rather we provide value. So providing value be in the form of educating them, entertaining them, or just basically knowing what their problems are and focusing on solutions, like go to the emotional core. Like one of the
mm,
challenge with social media marketing in general is we don't know what to post anymore. So nasa mo like
mm,
sa start kay hala kay ba pa kay taon sa tong mga buhat, but
mm,
later on mahutdan tag topics, mahutdan tag ideas, and we've heard these questions earlier, like where can we get topic ideas. What we can
mm,
do with social media is we think of campaigns. We think of campaigns like for this campaign, we focus on Christmas season. And when we think
mm,
of Christmas season, we break down what are the other subtopics around Christmas season, like Santa Claus, parol, or mga family gathering. So we try to talk about these every now and then so that we're not always just talking about the product. So we're not just selling, but rather we're talking to our customers in such a way that they were more likely to be engaged and to learn something new from us. Sometimes it's not always about the product, but rather we focus on their problems and then we try to help them one way or another, be it by our product or just basically educating them, like giving them trivias. So that's one
mm.
way to do it.
But in Rome, how can we
Yeah.
measure content's influence on our sales and revenue?
Okay.
It,
So yes.
what akibaw kung kani bagid ang hinungdan nga nung nitaas akong sales?
Yeah, I think understandable siya nga question, good. So what we can
Mm,
do, as we've discussed earlier, like katong na yung mga KPIs. So when
mm,
key performance indicators. So when we do KPIs, what we can do is we try to think of our customers, no, our audience in general first, like our audience, like do they know our brand? So if they know our brand, so the metrics there most likely will be reached, like how many people have we reached. And with that number, so probably let's say 100,000, like out of the 100,000s who we reached sa atong mga marketing campaigns, we can check then how many people have engaged, whether they commented, they liked, or they messaged.
mm,
So that's already like, let's say out of the 100,000 k, 10,000 ang ni comment ag ni like. Yeah, out of those people kay or ag ni message, out of those people kay how many ang nag-inquire gyud about sa product. So
mm,
the probably 1,000. Yeah, out of those 1,000 nga ni inquire kay how many actually purchased? Probably 100. So, inana. So, we have these metrics, especially if we're doing content marketing or social media marketing, Facebook, Instagram, the blogs,
mm,
and YouTube. They already have these metrics, and as marketers, we just have to check these numbers and calculate like to see how many percentage are we converting from a customer out of the, let's say 100,000 nga tong na-reach, kay naatay marag 100 nga customers. So is that good enough or is that okay? How
mm,
can we improve that? Then dira. So then we iterate, miss. So mo to siya. So
mm.
there are metrics, Facebook or Instagram, na sila yung mga reporting tools that we can check how many people have messaged, how many people have we reached. So that's something that is very helpful for us.
Okay, Rome, what namang unique questions from our participants? So it's a wrap for today.
Okay,
Do
sige.
you have any last words?
Okay naman na.
Okay na?
Okay na. Yes. Thank you.
Very informative ang ating discussion.
I
Okay,
hope
so
so.
that's a wrap for our Q&A. Rome, thank you so
Thank,
much, Rome, for teaching us
thank you.
in this and giving us valuable lessons on digital marketing. We'll see you in the next session. That's Thursday, November 19, right?
Yes.
November 19, yes. So let's give a big hand to our resource speaker, marketing expert and consultant, founder and CEO of Bisaya Digital, Rome Nicolas Bonsocan. And that is it for our fourth session in our webinar series on digital marketing strategies for MSMEs. We appreciate all of you for attending today and taking the initiative to learn and acquire new knowledge on digital marketing to make your business thrive in the new normal. A gentle reminder to our participants in the Zoom call. Thank you. Thank you for your participation. I'd like to invite everyone to give our warmest applause to DTI Region 7 for initiating and organizing this online course and for taking the time and effort to invite the best person to share his knowledge and wisdom on digital marketing. All right, if you enjoyed today's session as well as our previous webinars, please do know that there are more webinars coming your way. November 19th, social media marketing, using social media to connect with your customers. November 26th, Facebook and Instagram marketing tips for MSMEs. December 3, Facebook ads for beginners to promote your products online. December 4, new digital marketing strategies to explore beyond 2020. All these upcoming webinars are geared towards MSMEs. Through this webinar series, DTI Region 7 aims to help MSMEs grow their business and thrive in the new normal through the Digital Marketing Strategies online course. So come join us in our next and fifth session. That's Thursday, November 19th, to make sure your business will flourish in the digital space. Again, thank you for joining DTI Region 7's fourth session entitled Content Marketing, using content to promote your brand. For updates and more relevant webinars, like us on Facebook at DTI Region 7 Central Visayas. To rewatch our webinars, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, DTI 7 Digital. I'm Georgie Villamar, saying that with perseverance and grit, your business will thrive in the digital space. Keep learning. Goodbye and stay safe, everyone.